boxing,
beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
Saw William CROLLA's brother. The dreadlock you gave him a good fight, you know. It was a good fight, bro. What's his name? Zion. Zion gave him a good fight. Close fight as well.
William CROLLA looked 2 weight classes bigger than his opponent, EMANNUALE Zion. It went the full 6 rounds. CROLLA's last 5 haven't went past 2 rounds. But Zion was strong and he had ability. At times he was walking CROLLA down. A left hook actually had CROLLA hurt in the last, and it was a very close fight. 58-57 is what the referee scored it. I think it could have possibly been a draw, but there you go.
boxing,
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
And Conor TUSBURY, he went to 2-0 with a 6-round points win against Robbie Conor, who looked strong and purposeful from Scotland. His record is 3-5-2. He's never been stopped. He looked in very good condition, and the fight wouldn't have done Conor TUSBURY any harm. FARNHILL versus Mark Dickinson for the English super middleweight title was certainly a bloody affair, especially for Mark Dickinson, who lost a UD on the scorecards. All action fight, maybe the fight of the night. Vuong, in the long-awaited grudge match with Flynn, scored a nice knockdown in the 3rd. Little step to the side with his right foot, took his head off the line, and a right-hand counter put the eager to please Flynn on the canvas. Camera did some good work in there, but Flynn, I'm not going to say he made it easy for him, but I am going to say he made it easy for him by lunging in at times with his head up and then burning his energy, making him animated faces. It was a little too intense, and he probably burnt up a lot of mental energy. He was stopped in the 7th. Cameron was too talented, and once he sat down on his shots, his right hands were a little too much for Flynn. When Flynn lost his shape, he didn't know where the shots were coming from. He did well to stay on his feet, but he was about to be knocked down or sent to the canvas when the referee stopped it. Cameron, only 22, Jordan's 29. They're going to say this is his coming-of-age fight. I don't think it is. I expected Cameron to win this. Bring on GWYNNE next. He's going to give Cameron a lot more issues than Flynn. But you can see Cameron perhaps trying to talk his way out of the fight. When it came up, Cameron said, I'll fight anybody if Eddie pays me enough. I guess what it is, man, these promoters like Eddie and Frank, they pay out a lot of money. And they're trying to live on easy street but become big stars. He needs to run back the fight with GWYNNE, surely. Or you're trying to fraud the public.
I think it's a very close fight. I've got to be honest, I always back my fighters. I thought GWYNNE edged the fight. Probably 6-4. The better shots, the more effective shots came from Cameron. So it was the work rate and the punches landed. Although a lot of them weren't great power, huge volume and a lot landed. So I think Cameron deserves massive credit for stepping up to that level. But I think GWYNNE can leave thinking he was unlucky not to edge a decision. And to not get one card or even a draw, for me, I thought he deserved more out of the fight. Very close fight, but you have to run it back. GWYNNE deserves that opportunity to go again.
I mean, surely if your own promoter says you lost the fight, it has to be a no-brainer that you do everything in your power to run it back. You can't be asking for big money to take a fight against an opponent who, before you faced him, was stopped by a domestic opponent in Mark Chamberlain. And then you struggle against Gwynn, get gifted a decision, and now you want big money for that fight. What, because you just beat Flynn? If you can get past GWYNNE with no controversies, then you may go on to make big money. You get what the fight is worth.
boxing,
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
How long can Grandon take them shots? He's firing back, though. He's firing back. He's not going out without giving it a go. Give him his credit there. He's taking some lusty body shots, isn't he? And he still wants more. Still wants to fight. They're very gutsy. Got to admire the guts against a bigger man like that. And he's breathing pretty heavy, Grandon. Taking some heavy shots. Heavy-handed Pat. Heavy-handed. I don't know if he's devastatingly powerful, but he's heavy-handed, isn't he? Nice combinations by Pat. Put them ones together very well. Got his opponent backed in the rope. Is he a finisher? Okay, went for the right hook and then the right uppercut combination. His opponent whipped his own left hook back in, then came with a jab. Nice little left hook from his opponent. Right, it lit Pat up a bit. And Pat ate all of them punches. And then the jab. Pat, too easy to hit. Too easy to hit, Eddie. Too easy to hit. He's going to be a crowd favourite, but he's very easy to hit. That's what I'm seeing. Verdict so far, a big, strong lad who gets stuck in. I'm not seeing nothing too special. Body shots ain't bad, though. And they're going to have to fast-track this guy with all the build-up. Eddie can really give it the gas sometimes, man. Not lying. Oh, big shots from Pat. Big left hooks. The opponent looks a little unsteady as he threw that Italian. Oh, good right cross down the middle. Some intention by the opponent. Not giving in. He's not giving up. Oh, big pressure now. Big pressure. He's not going to survive, is he? Oh, great left hook by his opponent. Oh, they're training. They're trading shots, people. I tell you what, though, in saying that, his opponent is as game as anything. He's coming back with shots. Oh, he's going to go down, surely. Them body shots are folding him in. Oh, he survived the round. I don't know if I let him back out, really. You see his opponent. His opponent is too gutsy for his own good. You can't really account for someone being that gutsy. Man, Eddie, you know what I mean? I don't think a lot of people are convinced, though. I'm saying that. I'm not sure if people are convinced. You know what I mean? We expected to see a bit more skills. I'm not really getting that. I mean, he just looks like a bit of a bruiser. Pat is a bit of a bruiser, isn't he? Oh, great right hand from Pat Brown. He follows up. Great right hand. The body shots are folding him in. The referee's going to stop it. Pat getting on top now. It's all over. Pat Brown by stoppage, people. What's the verdict? What is the verdict on Pat Brown? What is the verdict? Was you impressed by Pat Brown? Is he the next Alexander Usyk, Evander Holyfield at 200 pounds? Is that what we're witnessing here? The Pat Brown verdict. What is it? Whoa. Pat just turning him. Look, them left hooks, man, to the body, to the torso. There's some ugly shots, bro. And you see he's using his forearm to keep him at bay and then blast him with them shots. Oh, look at them shots, bro. I tell you what, though, there's potential there. Like, I can't say it's a total write-off. He is a heavy puncher. His hooks to the body, if he can develop that, that could become quite a formidable weapon. Donald says Pat Brown is a mixture of Romford Bull and Chris Williams Smith.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
MIKAELA Mayo, I don't know if I'm biased, but I thought the fight was close. But then again, all of MIKAELA Mayo's fights look like life and death affairs that could go either way. I'm not going to argue with the verdict. She probably scraped it, put together the better punches. Sandy made it competitive, and you could tell it was close because MIKAELA's corner sent her out like the 10th was a must-win. MIKAELA had the better of the fight inside, and that's where she beat Sandy. Lauren Price will be a different proposition. Like I say, I'm looking at her last fight with Tash, who MIKAELA fought, and MIKAELA lost a controversial fight to Tash. I thought MIKAELA won, but Lauren Price totally dominated Natasha. No controversies. But Lauren's not going to let MIKAELA dog her and rough her up because she's very physically strong and she used the ring a lot better than Sandy. Not just a little bit, a lot better. They both have 2 belts for undisputed. Lauren wants to fight. She was talking about it today. She's confident she can beat MIKAELA Mayo. How confident is MIKAELA about facing Lauren? Hopefully we don't have to wait too long for this one. Hopefully. Because MIKAELA, she fought a good fight. Can't deny that. I was disappointed for Sandy.
Is it any consolation at all that it was another fight of the year contender? You shared 20 brutal rounds, but 20 really entertaining rounds. Now, ultimately, the results are going to say 2-0, but that probably doesn't tell the full story of the rivalry at all.
Yeah, exactly. 2 great fights, 2 headlines in America, 2 female headlining. So, yeah, that's big in itself. It would have been nice to finish it 1-0, but it wasn't my night.
I learned a long time ago that when you interview fighters who have just lost and you try to console them, but it was a fight of the year contender, it's no consolation. I learned that when I interviewed Tyrone Trice talking about his 1988 fight with Simon Brown for the IBF title. I tell him, that was one of the greatest fights I ever saw. And we was having a good back and forth, but I could never distract him in his own mind from going over what he did wrong, why he lost that fight. R.I.P. Tyrone. And it's the same thing with Sandy. Being in 2 great fights with MIKAELA that have resulted in 2 losses is no consolation. And it's the same when Joshua Buatsi had an interview recently. They asked him about the Cannon Smith fight. Yo, but it was a great fight, a fight of the year candidate. I don't want to be in the fight of the year candidate. That means I'm taking too much punishment. I want to be the one dishing out the punishment and not taking it. I want to win, basically. I'd probably bet that the winning fighters in fight of the year candidates don't want to be in them. Even the winners, they don't want to be in them. Fight of the year candidates are for fans and for media. That's it.
Boxing.
A confidence thing. Cuevas looked confident. And sometimes it's hard to tell if boxers are confident or if they're putting on their poker face to hide what's really going on. And he had a bit of success early against Brian Norman Jr. for the WBO welterweight title. But either Brian Norman has rocks in his hands or Cuevas's punch resistance just wasn't up for the job. When he got sent down with the right hand in the second round, he didn't quit. His mind just went out of the fight. You can call it quitting, and that's fair enough, but his mind just went out of the fight. Brian Norman, obviously a power puncher. He was very patient waiting for them counter punching opportunities. Feinted well from the upper body and the legs. Tight guard. Didn't put a foot wrong. And second round knockout in his first title defense. He looked impressive. Although turning down the unification with Boots Ennis to fight this guy, we need to see Brian step up, don't we, in 2025.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
This came to mind watching Oscar Collazo defend his minimum weight titles against Edwin Cano.
How dare them challenge me with their somewhat primitive skill? They're just as good as dead.
Cano wanted to be aggressive with the smaller Collazo, ended up running into body punches and that left hook. The inside game, insane. The footwork, just as good. The upper body movement, just as good. The Latin Snake pointed out Cano wanted to go to the body. The way Collazo was able to pick off body shots on his elbows, counter with wicked body shots to the pit of the stomach. And then the combinations he put together in round 4, as good as anything you'll see in the game. Anything. But I'm not going to overpraise Collazo. They need to get this guy in unifications. He's got no business fighting opponents at this level. Because unless they can pull out a punch against the run of play, or Collazo has a major day off, they're not winning. What's up with the unifications? We need to crown an undisputed champion at minimum weight. The way this guy disguises his shots, don't know if they're going to head or body. This was an absolute deconstruction. And I tell you what, Cano was brave. He could have easily jacked it in the 4th and no one would have said anything because he was taking too much punishment. The body attack continued in the 5th. Cano just turned away and went down in agony. Like, that's enough. One of the best fighters to watch in the game.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
I tell you what, it was a good fight. Not a good fight, it was an excellent fight, actually. Now, we've got to take into account William Zepeda.
Pressure, the what? Pressure cooker.
Is an all-out pressure fighter. I know a lot of people are looking at his performances against Tevin thinking Keyshawn beats him, Shakur will beat him, Tank will beat him, Loma will beat him. But unless you knock someone like that out, that work rate is going to be hard to outpoint. Mike Coppinger here is saying Zepeda dominated the first 5 rounds behind his jab. He rarely landed anything effective up top at the head. It was the pressure, the body attack. Here's the thing, yeah? The body attack was effective. But let's not pretend they were all legal above the belt line. And the referee never cautioned William all through the fight. The one low blow that Tevin threw in the 4th, the referee immediately stepped in and cautioned him. No more of that. Tevin had to start throwing low to reply to the amount of times that Zepeda was throwing low. He had to fight fire with fire. 5th was a good round. Was Farmer's left hand injured? The woman pundit asked Tevin, was his hand injured? He didn't even want to discuss it. But yeah, It looked like Tevin was going to give up the ghost in the fifth. Relentless pressure to the body, and where else Zepeda landed in punches. This is Tevin's third loss on the trot. Second loss on the trot to Zepeda, and before that he lost to Raymond Maratala. All decisions. The woman in the commentary team spoke about the power. Tevin's punches have no power, but Zepeda's do. Zepeda isn't that big a puncher, it's the amount of punches he throws. That's what gets him results. It was difficult because Devin outboxed Zepeda from the outside, landed left hooks and uppercuts, clean jabs from that southpaw stance in Zepeda's face all night. What about the left hand that sent Zepeda down in the 12th? It was ruled a slip. Sergio Moro, commentator, said he thought it could have been a knockdown. Did they show a replay at the end of the fight so we could make up our own mind to see if it was a knockdown or not? No, they didn't. And you go on any of the bigger outlets, websites, they don't discuss whether it was a knockdown either. They're not discussing it. They're not bringing it up. They're just trying to bury it and suppress it like they did when Tevin exposed there was no testing pre-fight or post-fight in their first fight. Tevin seemed to have Zepeda in trouble in the 12th, but Zepeda kept throwing punches right through to the final bell. Tevin, he said he doesn't know if he can keep the effort going in the gym not to get the decisions. And he's in the ring, he's going to be disappointed. But despite him landing the cleaner punches and the cleaner work, you got to knock this guy out or score more knockdowns. And the one knockdown Tevin did score, they didn't score it. If they had scored it, the scorecard would have been a lot tighter. Perhaps Tevin could have got a narrow decision, perhaps a draw. But from the standpoint of where I'm more detached than Tevin would be, a narrow points victory for Zepeda wasn't unreasonable. Now, Team Zepeda have been talking about Shakur Stevenson not wanting to fight them because Stevenson said his hand was injured after his last fight with Josh Padley. But they were signed to fight Tevin Farmer already. What are they talking about? They chose to rematch Tevin Farmer. They chose. That wasn't Shakur's decision. You're the mandatory contender. You could have took your title fight. That's why Floyd Schofield stepped in. And then when he pulled out, Josh Padley stepped in. Now Zepeda keeps his mandatory position to fight Shakur. But if we look at the two fights with Tevin as a PR exercise, in my opinion, it hasn't went that well. One official knockdown in Tevin's favour and another knockdown that wasn't counted. Zepeda's defensive flaws have been exposed somewhat. His reputation as this big puncher, that's debatable. In the first fight with Tevin, no testing, pre or post fight, and a lot of people think this guy's in the juice. That's how he's able to throw so many punches. And now, Golden Boy have to cash their chips in surely. Surely there's no more, let's try and build him into this bankable commodity and then push him into a world title fight because he's looking beatable. If there's a window available to take his title shot against Shakur, they need to do that ASAP. Now Tevin has come out as an unlikely hero, even though he's lost the two fights, because some are just impressed with the skills he put on display in two fights he wasn't supposed to be a factor in. What do you guys think of William Zepeda? Can he beat Shakur, Keyshawn, Loma, Tank, Lamont Roach, Andy Cruz, any of them guys? Or is he just food waiting to be devoured?
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.